All right, what's up, guys? Good morning. It is Friday, and there's some things ripping in pre-market right away. PHIO, I got some positive data. Click this up for tumors, whatever their drug is. And this went from 220 all the way up to 620, so $4 move in pre-market so far. Pretty big move. We got MARK, been pushing up constantly. It's had a nice sell-off. See if it kind of levels out and maybe reverses. GNUS kind of the same thing as MARK. SNOA. Let's see, what was this press release? Oh, okay. Their disinfectant is allowed to carry a COVID-19 label in Australia. And this stock is nearly, let's see, actually it's almost tripled since yesterday in price. Pretty high up there, but I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good enough press release to me for this type of move, but we'll keep it on watch. If it's got volume, it's got volume. And then AVEO, they have some data from their treatment of something. Let's see, for hepatocellular carcinoma. I think I said that right. I don't know, but you got a pop, pretty nice pop from $9 up to $13, and then it's all the way back down here to $7 area. And then we got Tcon. They got updated results on their drugs, whatever they got here. Cancer clinical trial. We see Tcon come out with several press releases this year, and it really hasn't done anything. Let's see, when was this? You had one move right here from 296 up to 496, 489 back in January, but the other PR it's had really hasn't done much, so I don't know how much this is going to do either. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Dom. But I'm not a fan of anything today, and I don't know. We'll see what happens and what shakes out. But I'm just not a fan of anything. I like PHIO's movements, but the question is it gotten too high? Looks like it's trying to find some support at $5. But we're fixing to open up here. And keep an eye out on everything. But this first 30 minutes just gonna, I think, fill things out. Unless I see an opportunity for a small quick profit somewhere. But I'm not looking for anything big today. See what PHIO does right here out the gate. Because right now, I mean, we're in an uptrend. We're in an uptrend overall. But we're starting to kind of get a little downtrend. Possibly. Kind of a bit of a squeeze right here. See Mark coming down, GNUS coming down, SNOA is coming up a little. AVIO doing nothing. And TCON's doing nothing either, really. TBLT, what did they do? Stock had a bit of a drop off. Got a lot of volume. I'm gonna throw this up here just for now, just because of the volume. See, 90 cents is going to be pretty tough for this to get back over. But if it does break 90 cents, it's possible scalp maybe up to $1. Let's see, okay, so PHIO did break that little bit of a downtrend, squeezing up to 6 here. See, it was a nice bounce off of $5, so that was a very nice bounce all the way up to 650. SNOA also getting a move right out the gate. About $2.50 right there in this one candle. So we're definitely seeing some explosive moves today. What's CHCI doing? What do you got going on? We got first quarter results. Got some support at 264. Put CHCI on here. Not a lot of volume on it. PHIO is getting pushed back down pretty hard right now. Nah, it don't look good. Well, let's see. PIHOs. See where the trend line is at. Extend to the right. There we go. How much is PIHO up? PIHO up's up 150%. Looks like it's trying to find some support in this 560 area. CG and yes, trying to hold above 2. It's got to break 208. Can break 208 possibly. Let's see, 212 as well. So there's a lot of resistance ahead on this right now. See it get over 2. See, CCHI is trying to push up to this pre-market high at 350. There's a good bounce there from 260 up to 340. CCHI is all over the place right now. It's PHIO doing PHIO, coming back down to the trend line a little bit here. Give this a couple of minutes. See what it does around here on the trend line. CCHI. So you should be a little support maybe right here in this 287 area. Cracking the trend line here. CCHI is still pushing up. Oh wow. Just broke over 360. Or not over 360, but over that 350 mark. It's really starting to move here too. Like, still actually got held up at 350. I should be getting a pullback. Yeah, there it goes. Let's say we're getting this little upper shadow. It's getting held up at 350. There should be a pretty good pullback on this. Maybe. I'm going to give it a second to see what it does. PHIO is barely holding that up. Mark sideways. TBLT looks like garbage. GNUS, nothing yet. See, CCHI didn't have that much of a pullback yet. There it goes. I'm going to say. It's a big upper shadow, though. See, PHI, oh, did bounce. See. Trying to hold up $5 again. I was thinking about going on this, but now it's getting moved a little too fast up yet. I don't know yet. I don't want to touch it yet. So what is CCHI up? 60%? 66%? These upper shadows I'm not a big fan of on this. I like to see us pull back down to 3. But it looks like it may. I'm going to go on CCHI. Or maybe I'm not. Coming back up to 350 here. Trying to for a little second try. Just looking at the 1 minute, I kind of like the way it's starting to curl, but that was a little too fast up. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Maybe I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go on this and see if it breaks over 350, like right there. I get filled at 343. It's like trying to get its way back up to 350. I'm gonna see if it tries to break. We might have a pullback first, but it looks like it on the 1 minute. It's looking like it's one to try. Although I don't like that candle. It needs to push up now. Yeah, it's starting to pull back a little bit here. Let's see. Got a little support at 330. It's starting to crack that. Let's see. I think I might have screwed up. Let's see. Because this could pull all the way back down to 289. It's showing a little support right here. 310 right across there. So we'll see if 310 can hold up. So a little buy-in coming in at 310. Well, 310's about to crack. I should have waited. Should have waited on the entry. Trying to buy at the breakout. Shouldn't have tried to buy at the breakout. Should have waited and gave it a chance to pull back. Just didn't pull. I thought it was going to pull back a lot harder right here, and then it didn't. And then we had these two green candles. I don't want to hold this too long, but if $3 can hold up support, we might be able to. Might be able to make our way back up. Let's see. See, this is what I'm saying. Right here, we need to come back up. Because if this keeps dropping down, it's kind of curling down now. So it needs to come back up, or it might. If it doesn't start coming back up, I may take a pretty nice loss on this. Yeah, I may be in trouble. I may be in trouble on this. I think I screwed the pooch pretty bad. Yeah, 3's starting to crack. Let me see. Let me see where this. See if there's a trend line on this. Yeah, so the trend line's at 295. I should have drew that right away. If it doesn't, it needs to bounce off this trend line. If it doesn't bounce off this trend line, then it's just going to go straight down. We also got the 13 down here at 283. Yeah, that was a very bad entry on this stock. Very, very bad entry on my part. I even said I wanted to come back down to 3. 3 would have been a lot better entry. I just got caught up on that 1 minute chart. A little bit of an error on my part. Three's starting to crack a little bit more here. Yeah, this loss is going to hurt. So we're testing that trend line now. Actually opened up below the trend line on it. So it's trying to bounce off of this support and the whatever, what is this, 13? Trying to give it a second. Let's see if it's going to get back over 3. But I am bag holding hard right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to. Looks like it might sell off here, so this is, yeah. No buying coming in this at all. There goes some buying a little bit finally. Oh yeah, it's cracking hard. I'm gonna have to get out of this. I'm just gonna have to eat this mistake. Trying to see if we're gonna get any type of bounce so I can at least cut my losses a little higher than this. But God, man, it's just not getting any buying anywhere. And none of these supports, no buying is coming in. A little bit here. Let's see if we can get some type of little bounce. But if I keep just holding, I'm just gonna keep losing money. Figure at least bounce off of one of these support lines, but it sure is not. It just does not want to bounce. It's just a big sell-off. God, I'm just getting ate up on this. Where? It's a bad, bad trade. Okay, there it looks like we finally might have found some support. Maybe. Yeah, I'm trying. I've actually have the sell button held down, so all I have to do is let go of it. I'm just trying to see if it's gonna find some support and get a decent bounce, and if buying's gonna come back in. Like, I don't really think there's any possible way I could make a profit off of this unless it just somehow turns around and a lot of buying comes in. But I'm just trying to see if it at least bounce back up to 3 or something, so I can take at least a little less of a loss. Let's see if we can get back to this 288. Little 288 support area. Make sure that doesn't become resistance. It's a pretty decent bounce. Still getting hung up at this downtrend. So we bounced off 275. Whoa, that's a nice quick little pop up there. Alright, let's see. Let's see if 3 becomes resistance. And now we'll get out of this if it gets right back over 3. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really a good line for a downtrend. Yeah, it kind of looks like 3's starting to hold up as resistance, so what is that? What else is going on? PHIO up to down to 450. Let's see. Let's see, it's slowly climbing up on the 1 minute. See if it can get back over 3. Let's see, you're gonna come up or you're gonna go down right here. This 5 minute candle can push up to 3, and it might, but if it doesn't, if it starts coming down, I'm gonna have to get out. And I'm gonna get out of this. If it could have kept pushing up towards 3, you know, it might have could have started making this nice roundabout back up, but as soon as that candle opened lower than this one and started dropping down, it's no bueno. It's gonna sell off. So that's a bit of a painful loss, but it is what it is. My own stupidity getting a bad entry. And bag holding. PHIO didn't hold up either. Let's see. MARK slowly still climbing up a little bit. SNOA got all the way up. Whew, what a run on this. All the way up to $20 just about. GNUS not much. AVEO actually had a little bounce. Getting a little action. TCON sold off. Only thing over here was ADAP. That went up pretty nice in pre-market, but currently on a downtrend, coming down. Maybe a long U shape. Maybe. It's trying to hold up this bottom support right here, but... And if it does, maybe it possibly could be a long U shape. The only problem was my entry was way up here. So, it's just too big of a pullback. Yeah, okay. I didn't see your comment. So yeah, you're saying what I was saying is maybe a possible U shape. Yeah, possibly. But yeah, that was just a bad play. But what I was looking at, and the reason why I got in, and the reason I justified getting in it was we hit that 350 mark here on the 1 minute chart, and then it started selling off, and then we got this small red candle where it got bought up and pushed back up right here, and then we got this green candle. Of course, this green candle, that's when I started to go, but then I'm miscalculated on my share size, and I didn't get in, and it went a little high, and that kind of threw me off. But I was like, this candle's, we got the second green candle that moved up higher. It was looking like it was going to move and try to test 350 again, and that's the reason why I got in there looking for that break at 350. But it's not a good idea to do that. You either got to wait for it to break and then look for that confirmation of 350 holding up, or you got to get in at support. But buying that resistance before the break is risky, and that's what happens. You buy a resistance before the break, it's a very risky play, and it just drops so quick. I should have got out extremely as soon as it turned around. I should have got out. That was just a mistake. It just kind of moves. It just drops so fast. I wasn't really ready to react that fast. Because what I was expecting, like I said, I was expecting it at least to try to test 350 again. And then if it didn't break 350, I would have expected this big red move down. But it did not, it didn't even get back up to 350. So I got left holding the bag there, and you really should never hold that long when you're in a losing trade. But it just did not, it just would not bounce. Like, we just went right through all these support lines like it was nothing. So, this is just a bad trade on my part. Just a bad entry. Now, see, if I would have waited for the pullback, I might have could have got in at 3 or whatever, and then, I'd still be losing right now, but at least at that point, it would have been a lot smaller loss buying at, $3 support rather than up here buying at resistance. So that's what you got to think about with your entries. You got to think about where you're buying at, because if not, you can get yourself into trouble with plays like this. But it is what it is. It was my mistake. I'm paying for it. I immediately know what I did wrong. Do have MARK coming up right now. There's a lot of resistance at the line it's at right here at this 267. But if it could break that, it's got room up to 282. Let's see how's PHIO doing. PHIO just selling off. It is Friday too. Fridays are always a little tricky. My line on CCHI right there is really crooked. All these lines are crooked. Alright, whatever. See AVEO with a pullback there, 795. And on HX, that was a stock yesterday, I think. I was on the watch list. Looking for it to break at 125. Yeah, you can see 125 is definitely going to be tough. You got what? That's the one I wanted. You got resistance all the way back across there, and then support. So 125 is tough, but not a lot of volume on this. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're green, that's all that matters. That you got in at 114, yeah. So you got in on this kind of support area there. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing. When you get a good entry, when you buy on support, you know, you're only risking a little bit, and then you know you got 10 cents out of it. 10 cents is still good. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's a lot safer entry than buying at resistance. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's got enough buy-in to push it up. You know, it's pushed up a little bit from the buying, but as you can see, there's a few upper shadows on this 5-minute. You know, right in this 125 area, that's where it's getting held up at. So if it doesn't break 125 soon, then of course it's going to sell off and come back down. Yeah, and see, this is why I had to get out of CCHI. Because now this guy's dropping down even more. So ugly, a very ugly week for me. I really gotta get back on track. Are you using a trailing stop? Is that what you're using, Doms, on them trailing stop losses? That's something I need to like look into. What happened, Daniel B? Did you take another loss today too? Or are you just saying in general from the losses you were talking about yesterday? Jack X. Not yet. How's the SPY doing? The SPY is selling off a little bit. Nothing big, though. Looks a little quiet in the market right now. Mark is still slowly coming up, but I mean, I would imagine people locked in profits here on this. A lot of traders are probably wrapping up for the day at this point, because there was a couple of quick places to make some quick profit, like his bounce off of the $5 mark on PHIO. That was a nice little easy bounce area. and SONA got that nice rip. So I'd say a lot of traders are probably done for the day. A lot of them probably made some money there. We've got some few Friday traders left trying to pull some profits out, but volume's probably going to get a little wonky now. Maybe. I mean, it's still early though. You know, it could be a couple more hours. Mark is trying to break above this. Let's see. It's definitely struggling here at 270. And of course, if it does break this, like I said, you got room to 283. That's going to be another tough area, and then $3 is going to be a tough area. There's a lot of resistance ahead on this stock, but it has had pretty decent volume. Yeah, look at that CCH all the way down to 250. There's that mark. Here it is. Okay. See. Any other stocks moving that I'm not looking at? Oh yeah, Dom. Did you are you using a actual trailing stop loss on what was it, HX? I don't know. A 10% trailing stop loss. I need to look into those. I need to look into those trailing stop losses. That might take a little bit of yeah, I'm gonna do some research into the trailing stop loss. It's something I've been interested in. I've just never used it. All I mainly use is the market buttons and then the AT ladder for, you know, limit orders and stop loss orders. But I've heard a trailing stop is where it's at. I may do that over the weekend. I think I'm gonna do that over the weekend. I'm gonna do some research on trailing stops, and then gonna readjust my strategy. Well, actually, I'm not even gonna say readjust. Readjust would mean there would have to be a strategy there in the first place. And the way I've been trading, I would say there's probably not a strategy to for what I've been doing. So I'm going to research and learn about how trailing stop loss exactly operates this weekend, and then I'm going to input a strategy that I'm going to enforce next week. You can see Mark is actually, it's getting this little move up at that break at 270. Trailing stop loss is nonsense for day traders. I don't know. I've heard the opposite, Daniel B, but that's why I said I'm going to do some research. I didn't say I was going to do research and then put it to use, but I'm interested in how the trailing stop loss works, how it triggers the sell order. And if it doesn't seem like it's appropriate for day trading, then I won't use it. But if it seems like something that might be able to help me take some profits, well, then maybe I'll use it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it's about, Daniel B. Oh. But I can't keep running my head into a wall and taking loss after loss after loss. I've got to readjust. Or do something. I gotta do something. Acceleration oscillators. That's I like to try to keep things as simple as possible. And that's I don't know about using oscillators and all that. But you guys know I'm a big fan of technology, and I think there is things that could be helpful. I don't know. I don't know enough about those oscillators to really give you a good informed opinion. I've never done any research on them just because I felt like it's not something I need. Let's see what else says. Go up to 285. I think one thing I might start doing, and this is something I thought of, because like every time, or most of the time, you see it hit that 280. What is it, 285 area right now? Most of the time, oh, it's still climbing though. No, I don't use the OCO brackets. I mean, you can, like, if you like, you could use OCO brackets, and be extreme. Like you're enforcing discipline through kind of a robot type of deal. I mean, it's not. I mean, Thinkorswim's not really a robot, but it is a automation is what I should say. The OCO brackets are an automation. Once you put them in, you're going to have your stop loss, your entry, and your sell target or whatever. So like it can force discipline. Like if you see a stock and you like the entry and you just hit buy with the OCO bracket and you're in there, then you can just do like this and just put your hands up in the air. And then just let it do whatever at that point. So I mean, it is something you can use. Like if you have a hard time being disciplined, um, it is something you can use. But you also, by doing that too, you got to be pretty good with where you're setting the stop loss order at for the bottom of the OCO bracket, because if you, like, a lot of times, and this is why I don't really use stop loss orders unless I'm waiting on a stock to do something. But like if you there's a lot of times you'll put in a stop loss order and it'll get hit, and then immediately the stock will rip right after that. Like there's always like a little pullback, like a little wick like this. Like, see, a lot of people just say, for example, if they're using the 13 moving average right here on this stock and it breaks above the 13 and it comes up to here, and they're like, oh, okay, I think MARK is going to keep going, so I'm going to buy right here above the 13, but I'm going to put my stop loss right here below the 13 at 252 or whatever. So if the 13 breaks, then I'll be out and I'll be safe. Well, you see this, it dropped down and it cracked right below the 13, so it would have hit the stop loss, and then you would have been out. So then the stock would have kept, and you see the stock keeps running. So that happens quite a bit where stop losses get touched, like a stock on a red sell-off candle. It's just that you can just have that little wick just dip down just enough just to knock your stop loss, and then you're out of the stock, and then it rips. Like, I used to be really tight about, a couple of years ago, really tight about using a stop loss limit order directly in there, so immediately, I'm out if something turns around. But what was end up happening was I was losing a lot. Like, I was constantly losing, and then on stocks that were ripping, because I kept getting stopped out. So that's why I try to market order out. But see, you got to have really good discipline. Like today on CHCI, this is kind of what you got to juggle, because everybody's different. And it's all about your risk tolerance. But like on CCHI, if I would have put in an OCO order, with a 10-cent stop loss or 5-cent stop loss, I would have been out of this with a very small loss at that point. The automation would have kept me disciplined. But because, like I said, a lot of times I run into that issue where I get stopped out and then the stock rips. I try to market. And on this play, I was ready to getting ready to market, out of this, but it just moved so fast I didn't really have a chance to react, and end up taking a lot bigger loss because it just dropped so quick. I mean, I should have just got out at any point, but the point I was just trying to make is it just depends on your risk tolerance and your discipline and what you do. So I mean, OCO brackets, they can be good to enforce that discipline, but then on the other hand too, it's like a whole juggling act, because on the other hand, say you got a 25-cent price target, and you've got the sell order on the top of the bracket for 25 cents up. Let's go back to Mark. Let's say same thing we're talking about. So you buy like right here for the trend line bounce. Say you put your stop loss a little bit lower than where these wicks hit, so you're still in the stock, and then it moves up 25 cents, and then you're out of the stock. Now, you did lock in a profit, so that's good. That's a good thing. But right here on that 25 cents, you probably wouldn't have sold, as it was still green and pushing up. So you lost a lot of profit, off of that. So it's a give and take with the automation and that discipline. Like, it'll keep you disciplined, but you've also got to be very good with, the amount of room you give your stop losses, and the accuracy of your profit targets. Like if you got to make, that's the thing too, you got to make realistic price or profit targets. Like 25 cents is probably a good realistic profit target, but then uh, on a stock where it maybe not where it might not have the range to move 25 cents, then it might only go 21 cents. So you might not hit your profit target. So now at that point, you've got to scramble to lower your profit target limit order down to try to get out of it, and it can be, you know, a little tricky. With day trading, you got to move very, very fast. And in some occasions, not always. Sometimes stocks will move slower, but you want the ability to move fast. And if you got to fumble with the OCCO order, with the brackets or whatever, then is the OCCO the? I think that's the bracket one. Anyway, you just gotta be careful with the automation. Like it can be good and it can be bad. It's a double-edged sword. Like pretty much everything in the stock market is a double-edged sword. You just have to, as a person, everybody's different. You know, and when it comes to strategies, when it comes to indicators, when it comes to entries and exits, everybody's a little bit different because we're all different people. So what works for me might not work for you. What works for Daniel B might not work for me. You know, this different things like that. Yeah. So I mean, it's just with everything in the stock market. Just everybody's different. Our risk tolerances are different. Just everything. So you gotta really think about. And that's why experience comes in, because the longer you do this, you'll start to figure out what works for you better than anything else. And that's why there's a bunch of different strategies out there. Partly, you know, there's a lot of garbage strategies out there too. You know, people with the stock market, you have the ability to make up your own strategies. So with that ability, you have the ability to sell people courses and chat room access and stuff like that, because you can make up a whole entire strategy out of nothing. Like it's very easy to do. Like I could easily, if we take this support and resistance out, you know, I could sit here and say this is a squirrel tail pattern. And right here's the squirrel body, all right, and then when the tail starts to curl, that's where you want to buy right there. You want to buy right at the curl of the tail of the squirrel, and then you get this nice move. So like there's a lot of garbage out there like that where people just make up whatever, and then there's, you know, actual good legit strategies. Like scalping is a great strategy. A lot of big investors use scalping because you can keep, you know, with scalping you're just in and out so quick. You're not really risking too much money, and you're also not making a ton of money. But if you're scalping constantly every single day, maybe multiple times, then you can grow your funds pretty quickly. And then dip buying, that's another, you know, strategy. So there's just a lot of different things. And you just got to kind of weed through all the garbage out there to find the stuff that's real, and then find the stuff that's real that works for you. There's no right or wrong way, really. The right way to day trade is the way that makes money. So if you come up with some strategy that is a squirrel tail strategy that works for you and you make money off of it consistently all the time, then hey, that's the right way to day trade for you. There's no real wrong or right way. But you do want to learn. You want to know all the basics for sure, though. When you're developing your strategy, you got to know support and resistances. You got to know price action. You got to know what candles mean. You know, you got to know all that stuff. And then you can kind of figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So Mark with a pretty nice run there. Look at that, CCHI still just, ugh, nasty. And PHIL too, see, you got too high in pre-market. SNOA still looks like it might have a chance to do some more action if it can hold up. But we'll give the stream about 15 more minutes here. So if you guys have any more questions or anything you want to talk about, you can go ahead and start that. Oh, what I was gonna say before I got off on all that tangent. One thing I think I'm gonna start doing, because I get a little antsy on my first trade every day. And I always jump the gun and make a mistake. Like normally, like a lot of the time, unless I'm super, super focused, a lot of the time, I'll come in and I'll be too gung-ho, and the first trade I'll make is usually a bad mistake. And then after I make the mistake and realize, you know, you're being stupid, stop being stupid, you know, I can start seeing things a little bit clearly. Like on Mark here, you know, after I made a mistake on CCHI, I came over with a Mark and said, oh, if this breaks 270, this could run up. That would have been a nice little easy play right there. So I think what I'm going to try to start doing is, it sounds crazy, but I'm going to try it just to see if it helps with my mental lapses that I have. But I think I'm going to start just trying to trade one share. No matter what happens, the first trade of the day, I'm going to act like I'm trading a normal trade, but it's only going to be one share. And then that way, if I do make a mistake and do something stupid, it won't cost me anything. And then I can go, okay, you're being stupid. Now let's go make some money. That's what I'm going to try to do. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to attempt it. It's something I've been thinking about. And that's part of being a trader. Sometimes you gotta figure out what, if you're constantly losing, you gotta figure out why you're losing and try different things to try to change that. So it's been a tough market though. Like since the virus happened, you know, all of this is crazy. This is a lot of volatility, and when you have this much volatility, it's tricky. It can be tricky to trade in the markets. It becomes easier when the market is just stable and it's going up. When the market's stable, you usually have like trends and different things like that, and we just haven't had anything specific. Like every day is different. Look at that, PHIO is selling off hard. Shorters came in and just ate this up. Nasty sell off. So at this point, Mark is the only thing. Mark is the only thing that's going up right now. Let's see if there's anything else. ADAP. Kind of a higher float stock. Let's see, DVAX had a nice pop from 528 all the way up to 663. Looks like they came out. I don't see a press release on this. So Option alert. USAU. It's a gold company. But yeah, not a lot of moves today. A few decent moves, but most of the big moves were quick, and now a lot of them have dropped off. So at this point, on Mark, you can see there's some support right across here. So if that support can hold up, you know, you might see a little bounce, and I might try for 3 again, but it's Friday, so who knows. Let's see, I saw something earlier about Canopy Growth. I think smashed earnings maybe, or did they lose? Oh wow, no, okay, so they did not smash earnings. They actually had terrible earnings, and Canopy Growth crashed hard. Interesting. Let's see, how's Aurora doing? Aurora coming back down from its little quick run that it had. Afra's not doing much. At 13 not doing much. ADAP still moving up. Floating in the stock. And Mark's still trying to hold up at 275. USAU. Ew. See, this stock is moving up, but man, this is ugly barcodey stock. Any stocks you see that look like this on the 5 minute or the 1 minute, you just don't want to trade these. It's gross. Hold on a second. What is going on here? This is a hell of a drop. Hold on, is this halted on the way up? Yeah, I bet it is halted on the way up. Man, I wish I would have saw this earlier. This would have been a clear dead cat bounce. I mean, good lord, why did this drop? Let's see why this dropped so much. It's halted due to pending news. Okay, so their phase 3 results did not meet primary endpoints. So it's not the end of the world for this company, but as you can see, the stock was all the way up at $14 yesterday, and this morning it was all the way down in $1.81. So I mean that is a huge sell-off. I mean that's a massive, massive sell-off. I could see this continuing to bounce, possibly. I mean, it looks like it was halted here on that news, and then it gapped down even more. And then once it gapped down, it started coming back up, because that's quite a bit of sell-off. I mean, you look at the trading range, the low on this chart is $1.81, and in pre-market just 2 hours ago, this was at $14. So this is one you definitely want to watch and see what it does out of this halt. Let's see, when did it get halted? $9.51, so about a minute and a half. So let's see what happens out of this halt. It does look like a halt mess, so it looks like it's gotten halted twice. On the way up, because let's see, 9:45 it was halted here, and then it opened up and moved up some more, and it got halted again. So it is 2 halts up, but it's not, I don't know. This is a big drop though on this play. Let's see, and then you can see 4.11, basically $4 is going to be the next major resistance on this play. It's the float on nerve. Pretty low float. See, when's the last time the stock has been this low? See, the last 3 years. This stock has never been this low. No, this stock has never been this low since it IPO'd back in 2014. Or 2014. So I would say this is probably going to be a pretty decent dead cat bounce. See, it should be coming. Let's see, they had earnings too. Oh, okay. That was just random PR. So it should be getting unhalted any minute unless this is a 10-minute halt. Oops. It must be a 10-minute halt, so it'll be unhalted at 10. I'm guessing. PHIO still climbing down. Mark is still trying to hold up. SNO dropping down. Nothing there. We got 2 more minutes on this. I want to see where this comes out. I want to see what this does out of this halt. But I mean, it does have room all the way up to $4. We're in unexplored territory on this stock, because you have no support or resistance. The only thing that you know is $4 is going to be resistance up here, but below that there's nothing to tell us anything. There's no past chart history for this stock. And then you basically just got to use natural support and resistance every 25 cents. So out of this halt, this could drop. This is the second, technically I guess the third halt of the day, but this is the second halt on the way up, so it could drop. And that's what I'm wanting to see, if it's going to drop or if it wants to keep rebounding. Because if it becomes a halt fest, a lot of people probably are not going to want to buy in, but it's just way too oversold though. Mark's trying again. Flip back over here, let's see. Oh yeah, bounced and held up right there. It's a little bounce so far, but now, you know, you gotta watch the you do kind of have an uptrend trend line. You kind of got it on, but you're kind of gonna get a little bit of a downtrend possibly. Well, actually, the way that candle opened up, it may not be. I don't know. Not quite yet, but yeah, if it doesn't break over this downtrend line, then it's probably going to keep dropping off. Yeah, lower high, exactly. That's the word I was looking for. So you see on the 1 minute, it hit the downtrend line, and it did try to break, but it's back below it. So that's going to kind of be the thing with that. Is Mark still halted? Not Mark, but Nerve still halted. Something's going on with Thinkorswim, I think. Oh no, Nerve is unhalted now. Never mind, I'm losing my mind. So it opened up. There should be no reason for selling in this. So let's see what happens, besides people locking in profit off of this first one. Did get some buying volume. Going 5 shares just to see. It might sell off here. Let's see. See if the buying volume comes in, pushes this up some. No, it may not. It's struggling. It's struggling. Unless everybody locked their profits out there. See if it breaks over 3. Well, it's got a lot of volume right now, just all over the place. This bar is way over this 2 million area. There it goes. Now it's starting to move up. And it's going to get halted again. So halted again on the way up right here. I think it's going to get halted. Buyers keep coming in, but it hasn't got halted yet. Oh, there it goes. A lot of buying. Look at this volume bar though. Good Lord. Volume bar is at the top of this right here. At the top of the whole volume thing. So that was a lot of volume. Yeah, I think it was 3 million in volume on this one candle. These dead cat bounces, man. You get way too oversold, buyers are going to buy stocks up. It's not bankruptcy. It's not the end of the world for them. Their phase 3 failed. It's not that big a deal. Like, it's not good. It's not a good thing whatsoever. But it's not a thing where they should be $1.80 a share, basically. But it looks like this is going to be a halt fest. I do get 5 shares just to kind of play around and see if I can make a little bit. I'm not going to make anything off of 5 shares. Even if it does run to $4, I might make $5, so that's nothing. But just for a little mental win on a dead cat bounce. It's not a profitable win, but I needed one mental win. One win for my brain, just to say, hey, you still can do this, man. You're not stupid. Let's see what's happening with Mark. Yeah, see, look at this. Mark is indecisive right now. But it looks like Mark is going to crack. It looks like Mark might have a sell-off if it can't hold up the bottom trend line here. And it's still got to break above the downtrend line as well, which is at like 276. There you go, Dom. There you go, buddy. Hey, it's better than red, my friend. It's better than red. $4 is not a bad deal there. CCHI is bouncing. Yeah, a little bit. But, we still got a pretty gross downtrend on it. It's got to get back above this downtrend. So, I mean, you could draw the downtrend, I guess, a little tighter, possibly, but The other problem is there's no volume. Look at this. No volume right now at all on this. You have one little green buying candle there, and that is it. So without any volume on it, it's probably not going to do anything else. And here's the other thing too. This is something you can look at, and this is something I didn't look at this morning, which I should have. But if you look back at the chart past history, this gap up, it had a run up, big long wick. Same thing here, little red day. CCHI doesn't hold its gains. So, and then today you can see it looks exactly the same as this last gap up on news. So by looking at that, I should have automatically known not to even touch this. Now let's see, Nerve is unhalted again. Let's see if it keeps going. Yeah, Nerve, oh no, it looked like it was about to get halted again for a second. So you had some selling there right out the gate. I'll see a good bit of selling. So yeah, Nerve is probably going to get halted on the way down here. So you did get a little bounce on it from 171 up to 3. What is this? Where did gap up to? 333. But it looks like that's all it wants, because it's getting halted on the way back down now. Maybe it for that guy. Okay, so now Mark is trying to stay above this downtrend. So possible entry in this area. But alright guys, I'm going to call it a day. Appreciate everybody joining me. As always, we'll be back Monday. New week, new month, new positive, optimistic outlook on the future. All that good stuff. So you guys have a great weekend. Relax. Get ready to come back Monday. Let's try to kill it next week. Let's try to have June as a good green month. But yeah, guys, till next time.